So I want to talk about one of the many things it takes to be great. And that's understanding this idea that you can't really view the world as what's right and what's wrong. And instead, things are more separated into winning and losing. Now, your idea of what might be right depends on so many factors, such as culture, religion, politics, how you were raised, who you hang out with. And two people could both think that they're acting virtuous and in the best interest of the people, but they could still be going about things in two different ways. And they could be doing two opposite things, but both of them think they are acting right. Now, it's such a tough pill to swallow when you genuinely try and do what you believe to be the right thing. And by the right thing, I mean the moral thing or the ethical thing. And you lose to someone who wasn't. And I think with movies and books and the stories we hear, there's always this idea that the hero wins, the person who's in the right wins. And life is not like that at all. It's really not about who's right and who's wrong. It's only about who wins and who loses. Something I have had to kind of let go of a bit is I always would reflect on things and be like, if something didn't work out, I'm like, yeah, but I tried to do the right thing. Like, for example, I was in university, I was taking one of my engineering courses. Final exam, 4 questions. It was online. It was supposed to be after every question you submit it. Now, I knew I wouldn't have enough time, or I wouldn't likely have enough time to finish question 3 submitted and then question 4. So I was like, let me just do 3 and 4 at the same time, and then I would submit question 3 and 4 together at the end. So I submitted question 3 and 4 together at the end, but I did it 5 minutes past the deadline. Now, most professors would have let that go. They might have maybe deducted a few marks. This professor, he said, you handed me that part of the exam late. Therefore, you did not follow my instructions, and therefore that half of the exam will not be marked. I failed that exam, and in engineering, if you fail the final, you fail the course. Now, I say that because it didn't matter what was right or wrong. Like, I still think what I did wasn't wrong. Like, obviously, yes, I have to hand in things on time, but I think any person acting with any leeway at all would have let that one go. So it's not about what was right and wrong, and it's just about winning and losing. I still lost. Like, I didn't do anything that I thought was wrong. I didn't do anything that I thought was wrong enough to deserve a failure, yet I still failed. Now, something I've noticed is it's like that in life, where it's not really about who's right and who's wrong. It's just about if you win or lose. Like, it's not the nicest people, the most polite people, the best mannered people who might be the most financially successful, the most successful in athletics, academics, whatever. It's those who win. You see that with war as well. Like, when one country wrongfully invades another, but the aggressor is more powerful, and therefore they seize land, territory, assets, etc. And if nothing on the international stage is really done about it, it's like, well, yeah, I was wrong, but at the end of the day, who's going to stop them if they win? Now, I'm not advocating that that's a good thing, but I'm just saying that that's just kind of how it is. Now, something in my journey through my life experiences that I've learned is I like always kind of like prided myself on, oh, like you got to do the right thing. And if I do the right thing, people will see that I'm doing the right thing and they will give me the benefit of the doubt. Like with that professor, like when that happened, I was like, that's okay. Let me just send him an email. I'm sure he'll be understanding. And you can sometimes make the wrongful assumption that everybody else sees the world in the same way that you do. Just because you would have let that slide, just because you would have given someone the benefit of the doubt and you were nice enough, doesn't mean that the person in the position of power or the person who makes the decision that dictates some aspect of your life doesn't mean he thinks the same way that you do. Now, that's happened enough times now with different things that I would make an assumption that it'll be okay because they'll see it the way I see it. And that's just simply not the case. So you really can't leave things up to what is right and what's wrong and say, oh, that's okay. Like, so and so will do the right thing. No, like, so and so may not do the right thing. And if so and so's actions, if so and so has the power and the ability to affect your life, especially in a meaningful way, then you can't leave it up to them. You can't leave it in their hands. You have to win. Like, it was my fault at the end of the day that I handed in that exam 5 minutes late. If I had just won, if I had just completed my exam, handed it in 5 minutes earlier, then I wouldn't have to leave it up to him. I wouldn't have to rely on him being nice or him doing what I thought would be the right thing. I just would win. Now, I'll boil this down very simply, okay? Let's say I'm walking, I have some jewelry on. Someone comes up to me with a gun, I don't have a gun, and they rob me. They run my pockets, and they say, yo, give me your chain. Now, at the end of the day, it's like, that's wrong, but what am I gonna do about it if he has a gun? It doesn't really matter in that scenario who's right and who's wrong. Like, me being in the right and him being in the wrong doesn't protect me, doesn't shield me. There's no shield of virtue. Oh, if I do the right thing, I will be protected. Like, you have to protect yourself. You have to defend yourself. And at the end of the day, if he has power over you, he has a gun and I don't, it doesn't matter. I could be the best person ever, and I could think, oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't steal from anyone. Doesn't mean that everybody else thinks the same way you do, and just because you wouldn't do something doesn't mean that they wouldn't. Now, I'm not saying don't do the right thing. I'm saying do the right thing. Bring into this world the ideas, the goal, the mission that you have, but win. Like, you have to win. Just because you have a good idea, or just because you think, oh, the world would be better off if I implement this change. Maybe it would. Maybe it absolutely would. But if you don't win, if you don't compete with all the other people who are still trying to bring their ideas to light, then it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter how virtuous of an idea it is. You're going to be competing with other people for a finite amount of resources, and they have their other goals. Whether they believe them to be virtuous or not is something totally different as well. Two people could be competing. They both think that they have virtue on their side, that they're acting in the best nature of the people and society or their country, but they could still be conflicting ideas. Or I could be doing the right thing and I could be competing against someone who isn't even trying to do the right thing. The reason I say all this is it's just something I've noticed where I fall into the wrongful assumption that people are going to operate in a way that I operate. I think I wouldn't do that, therefore they wouldn't do it to me. And if it matters, if it's something that really affects your life, you can't leave that chance in someone else's hands. Whatever it is that you need to do or want to do or have to do, like, you have to win. Like, you can't just be right. You have to be right and win. Nature and physics and the universe doesn't care if you're a good person or not. If you're a good person executing a murder, or you're a murderer executing a good person, the gun is going to operate the same way. The universe and physics doesn't know who wields the blade. And that's just something I've been thinking about recently, something I've been kind of noticing more and more, and really being able to conceptualize it and put it into words. Yeah, and we're working on my book right now, and I just touch on this, and I think the best way that I've been able to describe it, the most articulate, poetic way, is the blade knows not the wielder, only the victim. The sword doesn't know who's holding it. All it knows is the bloodshed of the victim. Doesn't matter if you're a good person wielding it for good reasons or a bad person wielding it for bad reasons. It's going to operate the same way. And if that's the case, you can't let someone do that to you. And if you're in competition with someone, you have to win.